So today for college algebra, what we're going to look at is special right triangles. These are specific right triangles that have specific angles on them that have properties that make the sides have a specific pattern. All right, and this is going to help us lead into some of the trig identity stuff that we're going to deal with in the second unit. All right, so the special triangles we're looking at are 30, 60, 90 right triangles, and then 45, 45, 90 right triangles. So what we're going to do first is we're going to look at how we get the sides and where these things come from, so we have a better understanding of where this is all, originating. Okay, I think that will help you realize and make connections to the stuff in the second unit. Okay, so what we have first is we have a triangle, 30, 60, 90 triangle, and we've labeled each side as x, y, and z. Okay, but what we're going to do is we're going to turn all of these sides into terms of x. Okay, and you're going to see how we do this. So on your notes, there's a it says room to show the informal proof. We're going to show you that here. Okay, and as we get through some of these things, you're going to be able to fill in some of the tables in your notes. All right, so here we go. So the first thing we see is we're going to do the sine of 30 degrees. Now the sine of 30 degrees is going to be x over y. So that's the opposite over the hypotenuse sides. Okay, well, we know that sine of 30, if you put it in a calculator, is going to give you 1/2. Okay, as a calculation, that's what it is. Okay, well, 1/2 is equal to x over y. So if we cross multiply, we'll get 2x equals y. So what we can do now is we can replace our hypotenuse of y with 2x. So we're going to substitute it in because 2x and y are equal to each other. So we can replace the y in our triangle with 2x. Okay, we're going to do something along the same lines with a z. Okay, if you think about a right triangle, it also has to deal with the Pythagorean theorem. So if we have x squared plus z squared equals 2x squared, okay, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared, this is our setup. Okay, so if we square the 2x, we'll get 4x squared. Okay, we're squaring both the terms inside those parentheses. All right, we want to get all the x's on one side, so we're going to subtract the 1x squared to the other side, which 4x squared minus 1x squared is 3x squared. Okay, next what we're going to do, we want to get z by itself, so we're going to square root both sides of our equation. And what that comes up with is z is going to equal x root 3. So we're going to switch this around so that the x doesn't look like it's in the square root sign, it's on the outside. But we have z is equal to x root 3. So the square root of x squared is just x. And the square root of 3 just is the square root of 3. So what we can do now, though, is we can replace the z in our triangle with x root 3. So these are the relationships that exist in a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So it's very important that you kind of recognize these because this is something you're going to be tested on. All right. Some people try to use this in the calculator, but we want the exact values. And the exact values will have square root of 3 in it, not something times the square root of 3. Okay. So if we look at this, across from the 30-degree angle, we have the x term. Across from the 60-degree angle, we have the x root 3 term. And across from the 90-degree angle, we have the 2x term. So this is how you figure out what the side lengths are depending on what the angles of the triangle are. So again, across from the 30 is the x, across from the 60 is the x root 3, and across from the 90 is the 2x. And this should make sense because the degrees also match up with the side lengths proportionally. So across from the 30 is the shortest length, across from the 60 is the medium, and across from the 90 is the longest length. So x is the smallest number, x times root 3 has got to be a little bit bigger, and 2 times x is even bigger than that. Okay? So now this is where you can fill in the little chart next to the 30, 60, 90 triangle with the side lengths. All right? Let's look at the 45, 45, 90 triangle. We're going to do the same exact thing. Okay? Now, one thing about this is in Math 2, if you were doing triangle pieces, all right, you should remember that if a triangle has two equal angles, the opposite sides are also equal. Okay? Because this becomes an isosceles triangle. So that means we don't have x, y, and z. We have those two sides across from the 45s are both the same, so we're going to label them both as x. It's going to save us some trouble. We're going to put y as the hypotenuse. Now, because the angle degrees are different, right, the side lengths aren't necessarily the same as the 30, 60, 90. Okay? Now, just like we did with the previous 30, 60, 90, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem because it's still a right triangle. We're going to do x squared plus x squared equals y squared. So the two side lengths are A and B. The hypotenuse is the C. We combine the like terms. X squared plus x squared is 2x squared. All right, and then to get y by itself, we take the square root. So when we take the square root of x squared, we just get x times root 2. Okay. So now we can replace the y value in our picture with x root 2. And this becomes the picture you have to kind of remember in your head about the side lengths of a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay, so across from the 45, you have an x. Across from the other 45, you still have an x. And across from the 90 of a 45, 45, 90 triangle, you have x root 2. Okay, so it's expected that when you're doing these types of problems and you recognize that it's a 45, 45, 90 triangle or a 30, 60, 90 triangle, you can use the different side lengths to help you figure out what the other two legs are of the triangle. All right, and again, you can fill out your little chart if you haven't done so, so please make sure you do that. All right, so what we can see then is, and this is going to, again, an important piece, we're going to tie this into the unit circle in Unit 2. If we have the side lengths of the triangle and then have the specific angles, the 30, 60, and the 90 is, we don't use that one so much. But we're going to use the 30 and 60 and then the 45 in the next part to show you the fractions of each of these angles. Okay, so for the sine of 30, if you take the sine of 30, remember it's SOHCAHTOA, so it's going to be the opposite over the hypotenuse. All right, it's going to be x over 2x. If we reduce this fraction, x over 2x, the x's will go away, you'll be left with 1/2. So the sine of 30 is always going to be 1/2. It's going to be an important piece for when we get to the unit circle. All right, for cosine of 30, again, it's adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent side is x root 3, something in my head, over 2x. Again, reduce the x's because they're on top of each other, so you can just cancel them out. Left with a root 3 over 2. And the last of the tangent is the opposite over the adjacent, which is x over x root 3. Okay, so again, we can cancel out the x's, be left with 1 over 3. But if you remember back to trig ratios, the first topic we had in this unit, you're not supposed to leave square roots on the bottom of your fractions. You have to multiply by the square root of 3 to the top. It's called rationalizing your denominator. All right, when you do that, you'll get root 3 over 3. Okay, so these are the fractions you're going to get for 30 degrees for sine, cosine, and tangent. All right, for the 60 degrees, we're going to do the same kind of thing. We're going to make these fractions and then figure out what the values are. All right, so at 60, all right, sine of 60 is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. We're going to get x root 3 over 2x. Again, we're going to reduce the x's and cancel them out. We'll be left with root 3 over 2. Notice how the sine of 60 and the cosine of 30 are the same number. So that should give you a clue for the cosine of 60 when we get the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is x over 2x. All right, reduce that, you get 1 over 2. So again, cosine of 60 and the sine of 30 are the same number. All right, tangent of 60 is going to be opposite over adjacent, which is going to give you x root 3 over x. Reduce the x's, and now you just have root 3 because there's a 1 on the bottom as the denominator. You don't have to write it as that fraction, but you can. Okay. So on the next page, there's starting to be filled in a chart. Don't worry about the chart on the next page of the notes. We're going to get to that later. I'll leave this chart up. You can see it. We're going to do the 45s first. All right, same idea. So for the sine of 45, it's opposite over hypotenuse. So you'll get x over x root 2, which gives you 1 over root 2. Again, just like before, when we had this tangent of 30, you have to rationalize your denominator, so you get root 2 over 2. For cosine of 45, adjacent over hypotenuse, again, you're going to get the same thing because it's still an x for the side length. So you have x over x root 2 again, which gives you root 2 over 2. And finally, tangent of 45, one of my favorites. You have the opposite over the adjacent, which is just x over x, which is not 0, but 1. All right, So on the next page of your notes, it says a summary table. It has all these values with sine, cosine, and tangent. So take a moment, fill those things in, pause the video for a second so you have time to do that. Fill all the values into the chart, and then come back. All right, so you filled them all in. Let's see these in action. Okay. So the first one, we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and we're given the side opposite of the 30-degree angle. Okay, which means that is got to be our x term. Okay, so if that's the x term, we can figure out the other ones just on the fact that that is the x term, because the y across from the 60 has to be x times root 3, and the z across from the 90 has to be 2 times x. So if we have x times root 3 and x is 9, then we have just 9 root 3. If z is across from the 90-degree angle, which is going to be 2x, then we're going to have 18, because 2 times 9 is 18. Okay, see how this works? The relationship between the sides, and if you're given one of the sides, you can figure out the other one just using those relationships. Next, we have the 45, 45, 90 triangle. All right, across from the 45 degrees is the x term. So if we know that is x, then we also know across from the other 45 degrees, we have the x value, which would be 73. All right, and then we go across from the 90 degrees. All right, the relationship with that is going to be x root 2. So if x is 73, we just put 73 in for x, and we'll get 73 root 2. That's it. Okay, try not to make this harder than it is. It's pretty straightforward. All right, here we go, another example. Now this one always gets people because they're like, oh, so x is 6 root 3. Well, remember, excuse me, if 60 is across, or the side across from 60 is x root 3. So the x value is really just not 6 root 3, it's just 6. Because root 3 is if you set them equal to each other and you divide by root 3, x is just 6. Okay, so if x is 6, we know that the y value across from the 30 degrees is just going to be x, which is only 6. All right, and then the z across from the 90 degrees, which is going to be 2x, will just be 2 times 6, which is 12. All right, so take a moment. On the bottom, you see number 4, you have A, B, C, and D. All right, you have to find the other trig functions using the angles that we were given. So you can use the chart that you had to find the reciprocals of those values, and then see what you come up with. Okay, make sure that when you're doing that, you do you rationalize the denominator if you have a square on the bottom of your fraction, so you can get the correct answer. All right, good luck. Make sure you try the practice.